What's up and welcome guys to a new video to Union Arena. Today we're gonna take a look at the Kenpachi and the Bambi deck because both of them receive a new deck in the Volume 2 of the Bleach set. So let's head into the deck list. So this is the deck list for the Kenpachi Saraki, the green deck that is brand new to the Volume 2 set of Union Arena. And here's already the main guy, Kenpachi Saraki. He got a new raid card to get with some support and a special trigger. And his raid ability is this character is not affected by battle point reducing abilities. He has impact 1, and then the special one is if the base card of this raided card has 4 or more required energy, this character gains all the abilities listed below, which are if this character leaves the battlefield due to your opponent's abilities or battle, you may place one card from your hand into the sideline instead. If you do, place the top card of this raided card into the sideline. So the bottom card, if it's a 4-cost energy card, will be remaining on the battlefield. And then he has a Vamblade ability, again, if you have a 4-cost raid material. This character gains 1000 battle points and double damage until the end of the turn. So yeah, this Kenpachi wants to do some heavy damage early on. And in his line we can find like 4 of the 0 cost here, the Kenpachi Zaraki, pretty standard character with an active trigger. And then the 2 Zaraki cards which are already existing in Volume 1 set are the 4 cost Kenpachi Zaraki here with 1 action point cost, and the double action point cost Kenpachi Zaraki here. Now you wanna raid with the raid card here on both of these characters ideally, because you can protect them with his ability and he will gain double damage. The double action point Kenpachi Zaraki cannot be played onto the energy line. He has impact 1 and can KO one of your opponent's characters depending on how many 13 core guard squads affinity cards you have on your field. And the other one is just not affected by battle point reducing abilities and gains 1000 battle points during your turn. The best support cards for this new deck are the Retsu Unohana together with the 6-cost Unohana raid, because the Unohana allows you to look at the top 4 cards, reveal up to 1 character with 13 court guard squads and 4 lost energy, which are all of your Saraki cards. You can add them to the hand, and then the next character you play with 4 energy or less will have his action point cost reduced by 1. So you can play the 4 cost, 1 action point cost Saraki for free, or you can raid for free with this character. While the double action point cost will only cost 1 action point afterwards. Okay, the last cards of the deck is just a 0 cost Hisaki, who can allow you to get a better start early on. The color trigger Hitsugaya. Now you can exchange him for the color trigger Yamamoto, because the Kenpachi doesn't have his own color trigger, which is kinda weird. And then another new card support for the Kenpachi is the one called Yachiro. He is an active main, switch to Westing, sideline this card, up to one of your Zaraki can gain impact +1 or damage +1 during this turn. Pretty nice support. The event cards are pretty standard too. There's the special trigger that the Kenpachi received. You can KO a 5000 battle points character if you have a Kenpachi on the field or Yachiro on your sideline. We got the Bankai over here, which is a standard card, and then I added 2 of the Search event card for the 13 court guard squads. You can basically add 2 cards with the 13 court guard squads affinity to your hand. And then the Soul Society here with a double energy side and replaces itself with a Vamblade ability draw card. Okay, let's talk about the Bambi next. Now the Bambi deck features mostly new cards. The only old cards that are in the deck are like the old Bambi line, who used to be only like a support character for the yellow Stone Ritter decks. However, she will get her own archetype now with the Bambies and the zombie cards. So her ability is pretty standard. If you raid her on a Bambietta card, and if it's your turn, you can choose up to one of your opponent's resting characters and sideline it. So now the new main support cards that she received is this double action point cost Giselle card, which kinda explains the archetype that the Bambi wants to pull off with this deck. So her ability is first event late. If you have a combined total of 3 or more Bambies or zombie or Bambietta cards on your field, you can draw 2 cards and place 2 cards from my hand into the sideline. And this deck wants to fill the sideline a lot because her second ability, Active Main, if on the front line once per turn, sideline one of your characters without a zombie affinity, and if you do, play up to one yellow character with zombie affinity card from your sideline set to active onto your field. Now this ability is very strong, and it's like the key ability in this deck because you want to sideline your Bambies and then resurrect them as zombies, or resurrect zombies in general. So let me explain the Bambie cards first before I head into the zombies. First off, we have just a 0-cost Giselle character here. When play, draw a card and place one card from your hand to the sideline. This allows you to get your zombies into the sideline. Then a 1-cost Searcher in form of the little Toto. You can add up to one Bambies or Bambietta card to your hand. Another 0-cost Bambie, who when sidelined can rest 2000 battle points or less opponent's character. And then the Candice here, double energy generation. When played, all characters with 1000 or more battle points on your opponent's frontline lose 500 battle points until the end of the turn. Okay. And then the main zombies that you want to resurrect with your Giselle's ability that I put into the deck are first the Toshiro here. Now the Toshiro has the when played ability. If this character is played with an ability of one of your characters, you can basically rest one of your opponent's character, which allows you to easily KO it with the Bambi over here. And the other zombie that I added to the deck is the Bambietta herself. When she is played by an ability of my characters, I can draw a card, and then once per turn, active main, I can pay one action point and she will get impact 1 during the turn. So yeah, she got some pretty great support. And her Archetype is really fun to play around since you can basically revive your sideline over and over again with this card. Let's just quickly go over the missing event cards, which is the special trigger. You can KO one character on your opponent's front line, X multiplied by 1000, where X is the number of Bambietta and Bambies card on your field. Then I run 4 of the action point restate and 4 of the jail. The jail is really good because basically it allows you to KO one character if you raid with the Bambi in the same turn. Alright, these are the deck lists. Let's head onto the tabletop simulator. Alright, we're here in the tabletop simulator. We got the green Kenpachi here in the red side, together with the Unohana. And on the blue side, we run the Bambies together with her zombies and the Giselle. So let's throw the dice and see who will go first. That's a weak toss, so I think I will do this again. We got 4 and 1, so the Kenpachi will go first. Alright, this is our starting hand. We will gain 1 action point and don't draw an additional card. We have 2 0 costs in our hand, which is pretty nice. We have the 2 cost Unohana, which allows us to draw a card, as well as the Search event and the Soul Society. So this is a pretty nice hand. Our goal here is to cheat out this raid character as soon as possible, so we can play the Kenpachis a little bit cheaper. And then just deal like heavy damage with the Kenpachi. So let's play the Unohana to the energy line, untap and end the turn. On the Bambi side we will gain 2 action points and draw an additional card. We also have 2 0 costs here and 1 Searcher, together with some high cost zombies and the Giselle. Now with the Giselle we want to sacrifice our low cost zombie characters to bring the 4-cost zombie characters on the field, or the Hitsugaya too, who have like additional effects when they are played with the Giselle ability. So we ultimately want to have a lot of zombies in our sideline too, which means we're gonna start with the 0-cost Giselle here, draw a card and put 1 card into the sideline. We're gonna put the Bambietta into the sideline because she's a high-cost character which we can cheat out with the Giselle. And then we're gonna play the Lil Toto, who is just the Searcher card. I can reveal the top 3 cards of my deck, add up to 1 Bambi or Bambietta cards to my hand, place the remaining cards into the sideline. So it's a mill 2, and if I added the cards, I need to place 1 additional card from my hand into the sideline. Which means we can just draw it like this, the top 3. I could take this Bambietta or I could take this Bambietta. I think I will take the raid because we need her on the hand. Then these cards will go into the sideline. And I need to sideline an additional cards, which will be the Toshiro, because he also has an effect when played through the Giselle ability. So let's untap here and end the turn. Get our second action point over here, we draw Toshiro. So here I think I will just play another 0 cost and then use my Searcher event I can look at the top 4 cards, reveal up to 2 13 cold card squads and add them to my hand and place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck. So let's search the top 4. Got 3 Kenpachis here. And one of the Choshiro, who's like very important to get your Unohana out. And I think I will take him, and I will take one of the raid Kenpachis. However, I would bottom deck 2 of these, so I think I will take this instead. We don't need to raid yet, because we need to get our 4 cost characters on the field first. So let's add these to the hand. Untap and end our turn. Alright, we stay at 2 action points. We get another 0 cost character, that's not too bad. Since we cannot really play much this turn, I think I will move the little Toto to the front line to deal some damage. Then we're gonna play the 0 cost here into the energy line and the 2 cost Bambi. Now there's no character on my opponent's front line, so I cannot activate her effect, and her effect is only when sidelined. Let's go to the battle phase, swing with the little Toto, and there's no one to block, so we can deal 1 damage, which is an active trigger. So now we can untap and end the turn here. This will be the first 3 action point turn, and we get a Bankai, which is super nice. So I think we can get the engine rolling. Cannot play the Soul Society, unfortunately, because we need to have this guy on board. So we start off with the Unohana, draw 1 card. The event blade ability activates. Then I will use the Bankai, set them back to active. I will play the Choshiro into the energy line, and I will immediately activate his effect. Place 1 card from my hand into the sideline. Once per turn, this character gains double energy generation. 2 more energy generation, I mean. So we're gonna put the Toshiro into the sideline. And now we are a total of 6 energy, right? Yeah. Which means we can play the Unohana, raid her, move her to the front line, activate the event blade ability, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 character with 13 cold card squads, affinity 4 or less energy generation, and add it to the hand. And after that, I can reduce the next character with 4 or less energy generation by 1. The action point cost of the next character by 1. Sorry. So we search top 4. We could add this guy to the hand, which is probably the best option. Put these at the bottom of the deck. We can add this guy to the hand, and now the next character got their action point cost reduced by 1, which makes him only a 1 action point cost character. So I will play him for just 1 action point cost onto the front line. He's played as rested, right? Yes. And when played, I can KO a 2000 battle points or less character on my front line, and if I have 6 or more other 13 cold card squads on my field, I could KO 4k. This guy is only 1500, so I just can KO them. I would have only 4 different cold card squads on my field. Then we enter the battle phase, and I'm gonna swing with the Unohana. We're gonna deal 1 damage, which is a special trigger. And this special trigger definitely gonna target the Kenpachi over here, because he's way more dangerous than the Unohana. So he will go onto the sideline. I untap everyone and end the turn. Okay, so we will get our 3rd action point too. I desperately need to have action point restate here, but we don't get it. However, we can recycle with the Giselle, so I will keep everyone in the energy line. We will play another Bambi, and then we will rest 2 of the action points to play the Giselle into the front line. She's played as rested, right? Then first, when blade ability activates, if I have a combined total of 3 or more Bambies, Affinity, Zombie or Bambietta cards on my field, I draw 2 cards and place 2 cards from my hand to the sideline. I have like 3 different ones, as you can see, so I can draw 2. There is the action point restate, and now I have to put 2 into the sideline, which will be 1 Jail and 1 Meninas, I think. Now I can activate her active main ability. She's on the front line, so I can sideline 1 character on my field without zombie affinity, And if I do, play up to one zombie card from my sideline set to active on the field. So since... oh, these are not zombies, okay. I have no zombies on my field, okay. So I think I will get rid of the Meninas, although I kinda wanna use her sideline ability. I think it's not that useful. So we're gonna get rid of the Meninas. We can search our graveyard now. And I think I will put her onto the front line, set to active, because the tertiary row can just freeze someone or like switch to resting, and we don't have any action points that could KO the Unohana here. So we're gonna choose her. When played, if this character is played with an ability of one of the other characters, I can draw a card. And then if I pay one action point, this character could get impact 1. However, I don't have any action points left. So we're gonna just swing 4k. My opponent doesn't want to block with the Unohana, so he's gonna take another life card, which is an active trigger. Alright, let's untap here and end our turn. I feel like these two decks are really balanced against each other. They're kinda similar in strength. So I think we have a pretty good turn here. We're gonna start off by playing the Soul Society into the energy line. Then blade, draw 2 cards. We have now 5 energy here, which is pretty nice. Then we're gonna play the 4-cost Kenpachi onto the front line. During my turn, this character gains 1000 battle points, and he is not affected by battle point reducing abilities. Then lastly, we're gonna use the special trigger, Noza Rashi. And I can sideline one character with 5000 battle points because I have a Kenpachi on board, which will be the Giselle, because the Giselle is really dangerous. Then we go into the battle phase, swing with the Unohana, and we can take a life because I don't want to give the Bambi up yet. And it's another active trigger, which doesn't do us anything here. So we can untap here and end our turn. We draw an additional card, and the Kenpachi is really good at removing characters from my front line that are important to the combo here. I think in this turn I will not use the action point restate yet. I'm just gonna play one of the Giselle to the energy line. I can draw a card and sideline one card, and I think I'm gonna sideline this immediately because she doesn't do anything for us. Then we're gonna play the Jail. The Jail just allows us to rest one of our opponent's characters, which will be, I think, the Kenpachi. And then we're gonna raid with the Bambi on the 0-cost character, I think. Move her to the front line and use her blade ability. If it's my turn, choose up to one resting character on my opponent's front line and sideline it, which will be the Kenpachi. Okay, now we're gonna enter the battle phase. We're gonna swing with this Bambi first because she can get impact 1 and I kinda wanna keep her on the field. Again, my opponent doesn't wanna block this with the Unohana. So we're gonna get a get trigger here. And I think the second attack should be blocked either. So we get a final trigger. That's everything we can do, so let's untap and end turn. So I think I need to put some more blockers onto the front line here, so I don't lose too many characters. And this hand is pretty bad, which means I have to do an action point draw here. And we get a raid. That's pretty good, however he will get no ability since I don't have a 4k Kenpachi that I can raid onto. He will only have impact 1. So should I bring him out now? Let's move the Unohana to the front line. Then we're gonna play the second Soul Society. We can draw another card. Ooh, that's good. That's pretty good, to be honest. But only good for next turn. You know what, I'm still gonna raid with him, I think. Because that's like a good option. So we're gonna raid him. He only has impact 1. It's not affected by battle point reducing abilities. However, since the raid source is not a 4-cost, he will not get double damage and protect the raid source. So let's move into the battle phase. I think both of these characters will get through and the Unohana will be blocked. We got one of the final trigger here. And then a get trigger, the Giselle, which is pretty good. And the Unohana will be blocked. Okay, let's untap and end our turn. We draw the Toshiro here. Having another Bambi raid would be nice. We have the Quincy full stun deck, which means... Should I do an action point draw? Let's do an action point draw. Another Toshiro, huh? So let's use the Quincy, vollständig, and reset our action points. We're gonna play one of the Candice into the energy line. When played, all characters with 1000 or more battle points on your opponent front line lose 500 till the end of the turn, which will be only these Uno Hanas. And then we have to play the Giselle again onto the front line. When played, 3 or more other Bambies, Zombie or Bambietta cards again. I have Bambies and Bambietta cards, so I can draw 2 and sideline 2. There's the raid that we need. We're gonna sideline both Hitsugayas and then use her active main ability. We're gonna get rid of the Giselle again to play out the Hitsugaya, I believe, as active. And then if the Hitsugaya is played by an ability of one of my characters, I can rest one of my opponent's character, which will be the Kenpachi. Alright, so let's move to the battle phase. My opponent has 3 life cards left, so he has to block some of these, and he cannot be at 1 life card because of this impact damage. So I'm gonna swing with the Bambi first. Again, I have to take 1 life card here. Oh, which is a raid trigger. However, we cannot activate it because we don't have a Kenpachi on our field. That's pretty bad. And then gonna swing with the Bambietta here, which will be blocked by the Unohana, and the Toshiro will be blocked by this Unohana. Unfortunately. Okay. Let's untap over here and end the turn. Can untap here too, draw a card. The double action point Saraki here. Yep, I'm pretty sure that this is a loss. We have some impact damage that we could do, but it wouldn't be enough. Because he can just sacrifice someone. Could fill the board with 0 cost to try to survive 1 turn, but then if my opponent freezes one of our characters, I might be dead anyways. I mean, I can safely move this guy to the front line, I think. And then I guess I just hope for the best. Play the Kenpachi onto the front line. I could KO 2000 battle points characters because I don't have 6 or more Court Guard squads on my field, unfortunately. And there's no 2000 battle point character on my front line, so I cannot use his ability. So I think that the Soul Society might actually be a not good. So I think that the Soul Society is actually like a bad choice here. Then with our last action point, just gonna raid the Kenpachi, and now he will get all the abilities, which means 1000 battle points for the turn. Double damage and impact 1, and if he would be sidelined due to an ability or battle, I can place the top card into... I can place 1 card from my hand into the sideline instead, so the bottom card will be protected. Alright, let's move to the battle phase. We're gonna swing with him first, double damage, impact 1. My opponent has to block this because this Kenpachi has impact 1 too. So we're gonna block with the Toshiro and deal 1 damage, which is a draw trigger. Then another impact 1 damage. Again, doesn't matter if I block it or not, it will go through. And there's the special trigger. I'm gonna target this Kenpachi because he doesn't have the abilities to protect the raid source. And then this character will be blocked. We untap here and that should be GG. Okay, we managed to survive with 1 life card left. I don't even think I need to do like a lot of stuff in this turn. Let's just pay the 0 cost Bambi. Gonna use the second action point for the jail. I gonna rest. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Gonna rest him. Then we're gonna raid the Bambi and KO him. So if he would be KO'd, I could KO him. Then place 1 card from my hand into the sideline. But this guy would still be rested, right? So if he gets like an... Oh no, I forgot to use 1 action point for the impact 1. Did I mess it up? No, we have 3 swings and 2 alive. I could have messed it up maybe. Whatever. So let's go into the battle phase. Swing 4k first. See which trigger we get. We get no trigger. An active trigger could have saved me potentially if this guy would be in final trigger here. So swing with the Bambi. I can block this. Swing with this Bambi. And there's a collar trigger. So yeah, the Bambi was a really close game, but the Bambi won the game. We had a get trigger in our life, but both decks are definitely fun to play around. They got like nice upgrades in the second set of the Bleach Union Arena booster pack. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next video I will showcase the blue decks of Bleach, I think. So leave a like, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.